Novodvorskaya on Putin and FSB Pterodactyls, a warning that came true. This is the truth about Putin from a Soviet and Russian dissident who predicted the future. Her name was Valeria Novodvorskaya. Many people ignored her warnings, some laughed at her, but history proved her right. Hello there, I am Elena, welcome back to my channel Enough of Propaganda. As a person who was born in the USSR, Russia, who lived and worked under the Soviet regime, as well as in modern Russia, I confirm the words of Novodvorskaya. She told the truth about Putin that everyone needs to know. I'll leave you the links to the articles, most of them are in Russian, this is automatic translation, and meanwhile I'll show you some other footage instead. Novodvorskaya described Putin and a secret service mentality behind his regime. I quote, "Putin is a Chekist bastard, a political mediocrity, and a Stalinist, vindictive and cruel. There is not a single good thing that Putin has done, and he does not make mistakes either. It is nothing but deliberate crimes." She also described the people running the modern Russian security state. The current regime of Chekists is made up of pterodactyls. Have you ever heard of pterodactyls build anything? They can only pick things apart. In case you did not know, the word Chekist came from the Cheka, the first Soviet secret police organization, and later became associated with the broader Soviet security service tradition, including the KGB. In modern political discussions, the term is often used to describe security service elites and the political culture inherited from these institutions. The phrase Chekist bastard is an extremely harsh insult. Literally, it refers to the skin or hide of a Chekist, like a pelt. But meaning is closer to Chekist thug or Chekist bastard. This was 2014. At the time, Novodvorskaya explained to the people of Donbas who Putin was, what his rule would bring to them personally, and what would happen to Russia under his leadership. So at the time, Russia has already attacked Ukraine. I am combining two videos now. Novodvorskaya said,
"Вы хоть знаете, кто такой Путин?"
She said, "Do you even know who Putin is?" From now on, I'll just read the translation. He is a monster. He is a Stalinist. He is a product of darkness. Read Tolkien. He comes from Mordor. He is real Sauron. What does he want? He wants nobody to live a normal life. He needs an empire. An empire of evil, because there are no such things as empires of good. And for the monstrous ambitions of this heir of Hitler and Stalin, you want to die in the prime of your lives? I simply don't understand you. Things are very bad for Russia today. I am not sure that we will make it out. There are too few of us here. And there are too many people who want to recreate the empire. And to them, you are nothing more than a doormat. This was her speech. She was talking to those so-called Donbas separatists, which there were few real people in Donbas who supported Russia. This is what her honest word to these people. I provided you just a little piece which was related to Putin personally, but you are welcome to translate the transcript yourself, if you like. It kinda seems like a better quality here of the video. Let's talk about who Valeria Novodvorskaya is. She was born in 1950 and died in 2014. She was a Soviet dissident, a Russian politician, writer and a publicist. She spent her life fighting against authoritarianism, the Soviet regime, and attempts to restore the Soviet imperial system. From a young age, Novodvorskaya opposed the USSR. For this, she was prosecuted by the authorities, imprisoned, and subjected to forced psychiatric treatment in Soviet psychiatric institutions. These institutions were used by the Soviet regime against political dissidents. Healthy people who criticized the government were labeled mentally ill and subjected to psychological pressure and forced treatment with psychiatric drugs. It is awful that Soviet Union used psychiatry as a weapon. What even more awful is that today, in 21st century, Putin brought that weapon back. He is using, right now, today, psychiatry as a weapon in Russia, when the healthy people, just because they spoke against Putin and his war in Ukraine, his imperialistic, aggressive war, people are thrown into psychiatric wards today. This picture by Yuri Fiklistov, photo archive of the magazine Огонек. She is on a protest against criminal secrets of military-industrial complex should be opened and stopped. This is what her sign said. Novodvorskaya understood the danger of the revival of the Cheka KGB system and the rise of a former security service officer Vladimir Putin to power in Russia. She warned that the return of this mentality would mean the return of repression, imperial ambitions, and hostility toward freedom. Her sign says, "Hopefully God will burn the Soviets and throw deputies of parliament through the floor." After Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, Novodvorskaya openly supported Ukraine. In April 2014, she stated that she had taken a military oath of loyalty to the government of Ukraine. Why her warning matters today? Novodvorskaya saw something that many people refuse to see. A Russia controlled by a security service elite would not become a normal democratic country. Instead, she believed it would return to authoritarianism, repression, and imperial ambitions. And this is exactly what happened. As Russian-American writer Valery Bochkov, who was closely acquainted with KGB FSB high officers, pointed out, every country has its secret services, but only the Russian FSB has its own country. Russia is governed by the security services. Right now. My own experience with KGB FSB agents confirmed this statement. These people were trained in the Soviet and Russian security service system to deceive, manipulate, and control people. They literally studied in universities and a high school of KGB how to lie to people, manipulate them, and deceive them to achieve their goals. These people are trained professionals. Please keep this in mind. And in this my video, I'm telling about this in details. Every person in Russia and abroad, especially politicians and decision makers, needs to understand and remember this. Putin and his corrupt authoritarian regime, built around the FSB security service mentality, cannot be trusted. Ukrainians and Eastern Europeans, like people from Finland, for example, understand very well what I just said. This is a Johnny Ascola's post. Russia lies about absolutely everything, turning deception into a core state policy. With a regime built entirely on constant fabrications, how could we ever trust a single word they say again? And here's a bunch of examples of Russian lies in his post. I described my own experience with KGB FSB agents in my video. Have you ever met a secret agent? Please share your experience in the comments. And a little bit of fun in the end. Before Putin, Russia was a total bore. And now it's non-stop action. The patriot stood in line for gas, stared at an empty ATM, cashed in his sugar ration coupons, gorged on expired goods, turned on his VPN, and went online to rave about living in the greatest country on earth. Very well said. I have lived in the USSR, and USSR failed to achieve anything, to be superior in any way to anybody, or at least on the same level as the democratic countries. So they had to put everybody down and pump propaganda. This is what Putin and FSB and propagandists were good at, to pump Russian propaganda, that we're living in the greatest country in the world. Fantastic. Now, when Russia basically shut down internet to people, Russian people have huge problems with internet. I can't, for example, even call to my family in Russia online. Some Russian trolls, paid by the Russian government, who has the VPN, keep appearing online in the comments and raving about how wonderful Russia is, using VPN to go around Russian laws, to say how free Russia is and how fantastic it is. Unbelievable. If you find my video interesting and useful, please like, subscribe, share it, write a comment. Let's make truth available for everyone. Thank you. Well, learn the truth and stay informed. Thank you for watching. See you later.